Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to our friends in the West. My name is John Snow, and I am the host of today's webinar in a series we call Elevating Minds. Our last presentation was done by Chris Simdakidis, who spoke to us about Class 3 product and shared a lot of information with us, which was great. And I'd like to thank Chris for putting that together for us. So to continue with that, we are going to be hearing from Sean Mcburney today. Sean's going to be speaking to us about Class 4 product, and this is our cushion-tired internal combustion equipment lineup. And then we will be hearing from Dave Nanos, who's going to be speaking to us about Class 5, which would be the pneumatic internal combustion product, both propane and diesel. And so let's get started. Guys, welcome today. And Sean, you want to kick it off for us?
Absolutely. Thank you, John. So today I have the pleasure of talking about our Class 4 product with everyone. These are our internal combustion cushion forklifts. They're probably the most common forklift that you're going to see in indoor warehouses. Our Toyota range from 3,000 capacity all the way up to 100,000 pound capacity, which would be the THDC. So let's get into the core product. This is the one that you're going to see in most warehouses. Typically, you see a 5,000 pound cushion forklift running around a warehouse, but the models range from a 8FGC 15 all the way to a 32, meaning the capacity can go from a 6,000 pound, or sorry, a 3,000 pound all the way up to a 6,500 pound capacity. These forklifts are internal combustion powered. They have cushion tires. As you can see, they're a little smaller than what you would see in a Class 5 or a pneumatic. They are four-wheel. They're sit-down, and there's 6 models available. The Toyota cushion forklift is the #1 selling forklift in North America. This class of forklift can work in aisles as small as 138 inches, and it's available in liquid propane, dual fuel, and compressed natural gases. It does have programmable speed control, and some of the standard options that are available on it are full suspension seat, LED headlights, multifunction display, which is really important when diagnosing problems. Our technicians can get into the multifunction display and assess problems a lot quicker than previously. They also do have an automatic fork leveling button on the third valve, which we'll get into a little bit later. Some of the industries that you would see this class of truck in would be warehousing, manufacturing, distribution, retail, and some automotive. One of the features that Toyota boasts above our competitors is the visibility in the mast. And the way that this is done is the mast hosing is tucked away. The overhead guards are oriented at a maximum visibility 45-degree angle. And what that means is when you're raising your load to the 12, 18, 20-foot lift heights, you're looking up through the overhead guard, and that guard is shaped at a 45-degree angle. So it's giving you maximum visibility with no obstruction. 2 safety features that are really important when we're talking about the Class 4 product is the SAS, or System of Active Stability, and Active Mass Control. The SAS automatically detects potential unsafe conditions and engages additional safety features for increased protection and reduced product and forklift damages. So what that means is it senses dangerous turn speeds and widens the forklift center of gravity to decrease the likelihood of a lateral tip over. To go along with that, Toyotas are manufactured with active mass control. And what this does is it responds automatically to enhance the stability of loads handled at a high lift height. What this means is it limits the forklift operator's actions that could cause a forklift to tip forward or backward. The models that are available, as you can see here in the chart, range from the 8FGCU 15, which is the 3,000 pound unit, all the way up to the 8FGCU 32, which is a 6,500 pound capacity unit. On the right side of this chart, what you want to look at is the basic right angle stack, which is basically going to tell us what our turning radius is. You take the basic right angle stack, you add your fork length, and then you're going to have your turning radius of the forklift. So you can see it goes from 83.5 inches all the way up to 98.8 inches. When we go the next size up, what we're doing is we're going from our 6,500 pound, we go into the 8,000 all the way up to the 15.5 pound capacity forklift. These are all still internal combustion powered, cushion tires, 4 wheels, sit down, and there are models available. These are built a little differently. They come with a 4-cylinder liquid propane engine. They are built to use less fuel and produce fewer emissions. One benefit from the 7 Series to the 8 Series in Toyota forklifts is these were built with 20% reduced fuel consumption. Obviously, that's a concern when you're running through propane tanks through your different shifts. 20% better fuel consumption's going to be a lot of money saved in the long run. These have a distributor-less ignition system. They are very roomy in the operator cab. They have more legroom than the previous models. Unobstructed entry and exit, meaning you can enter from either the right or left side. And they can maneuver in 13-foot aisles with nearly 20 feet of lift height. Again, it has that great nested mast hose routing for the great visibility. So the models available in this are the 8FGC35U, which is the 8,000 pound unit, all the way up to the 8FGC70U, which is the 15.5. The right angle stack again is 107.5. You add your fork length on top of that, and then all the way up to 123 inches. So something that Toyota's done and some of the other manufacturers have done is gone to what we call a Boxcar special. And what this is meant for is when you need that high capacity in an 8,000 or greater, but you don't have the turning radius that you require for the big units. So what they've done is they've constructed the counterweight to go upwards, as you can see in that picture. It does mean the propane tank sits a little higher, but you can still get that 8,000 all the way up to a 12,000 pound capacity in a much tighter turning radius. There are 3 models available, the 8,000, 10,000, and 12,000. And as you can see, the basic right angle stack goes from 100 to 112 inches, so it still has a very good tight turning radius. These can work in a confined area without sacrificing any lifting power. They have a powerful 4-cylinder gas engine. They do have travel speed control, and again, 20% reduced fuel consumption from the previous model. Load sensing power steering is equipped on these. Again, superior visibility, and they can fit in something as small as a 12-foot aisle. One thing that you definitely would want to consider on a Boxcar Special is the swing down bracket for the propane. And what this does is the bracket actually swings out and then it swings down, and it has a hydraulic, so there's no weight that the operator has to deal with. And then they're lifting that propane tank at about half the height they would normally be lifting. There is another specific unit that we call the Paper Roll Special, which is a 12,000 pound capacity made for the paper industry for people that are handling large paper rolls. Again, internal combustion powered, cushion tire, 4-wheel. This is specifically designed for paper applications. It does have a tight turning radius and a powerful 4-cylinder gas engine with travel speed control and the superior visibility. It is also equipped with SAS, System of Active Stability. Some of the features on the paper roll handler would be a clamp release interlock system. And what that means is you have to engage the button on the 4th valve before engaging the clamp. And the reason that that's required is because if you were walking by the forklift or your knee hit the valve, there is a danger that that clamp could open up and release the load. So by pressing the button down before using the clamp function, it's basically a 2-step system so that you don't have any accidents. Some of the other features on the Paper Roll Special would be the large number 8 gauge hosing. Obviously with the hydraulic functions, they need larger hosing. It does still have the automatic clamp leveling, And what that does is on the third valve, there's a button as well. And from a back position or a tilted back position, if you hold that button and tilt forward, it's always going to land at 90 degrees or level. There are optional hydraulic accumulators for the people that need them, and it does have an optimized hydraulic system. Again, it has electronically adjustable hydraulic control valve. So this is a 12,000 pound unit. There is only one unit when you're looking at the paper roll special, although you can put a paper roll clamp on different models if need be. And it does have a 112 right angle stack. Now we're getting into the big boys. This is the THDA series. And what that stands for is the Toyota Heavy Duty Adjustable Series. And what that means is you've got an adjustable capacity on these. You can go from the TDHA 1525, meaning it can lift 15,000 to 25,000 pounds, all the way up to 6080, which would lift 60,000 or 80,000, depending on where you extend your counterweight to. So they have a 15,000 all the way up to 80,000 pound capacity. Again, it does have an adjustable wheelbase. It does come with a multi-stage telescoping boom. Sorry about that. It does have a touchscreen technology, which is standard option, and it has a built-in estimated capacity calculator. So if you don't know what you're lifting, this is a great option and a great feature because it'll give you a general idea of what you're lifting and the weight you're dealing with. This does have a hydrostatic transmission, obviously going to improve on your wearables by having that. And there is an option for a remote control, so you could have this thing operating with no operator in the cab. When we're going up from that, again with the THD, so the Toyota Heavy Duty Series, the THDC cushion goes from 18,000 pound capacity to 22,000 pound capacity. And then you get up into the bigger series, which would be the 30,000 all the way up to 100,000 pound. The difference in these two is the wheelbase. You go from 80 inches on the lower up to 22,000 pounds, and then you go all the way up to 90 to 125 inch wheelbase on the bigger series. These have high capacity indoor, they are high capacity indoor task forklifts. So full hydraulic power steering. They have easy access service panels, and they can go to a lift height of 327 inches for the units that are up to 22,000 pounds. When we're going up to the 100,000 pound capacity, these are for high capacity indoor applications. So you're going to see these operating in automotive environments. Some people that are handling dies might be going. Anyone that's using these indoors and has very high capacity lifts, this is where you would be looking to use these. It does come with a Dana 32,000 transmission and a built-in engine protection system. Again, hydraulic power steering and easy to access service panels from the service side of things. The lift height is a little lower on the TDHC at 275 inches. Some of the industries that you would see these bigger forklifts, these bigger cushions in, would be distribution, factories, manufacturing, warehouses, steel, metal, lumber, paper, rail yards, retail, really anywhere, indoor warehousing facilities. Cushion trucks, that's where you're going to see them. Some of the options that I do like in this series would be premium ventilation when you're dealing with some of the higher capacity, so up to the 8,000 pound and above, and in the box cars. And what that does is it gives you a box fin radiator, it gives you high speed fan pulley, it gives you hood ventilation and undercover with holes. So this is really going to improve some of those heavier applications that do experience overheating. I usually suggest that we go with a high premium vent package on those. Another safety feature that I like, and I definitely push forward, is a seatbelt interlock. And what that does is it's a harness that's routed to the seatbelt that detects when the seatbelt is engaged. Travel and hydraulic functions are disabled when the seatbelt is unlocked. So if you're having issues with your operators not wearing their seatbelts in your facility, then the seatbelt interlock might be an option for you. Some interesting facts about the Class 4 would be, unlike any other forklift manufacturers, we design and manufacture our own engines specifically for Toyota forklifts. And what that means is we design from the engine out. Some of our competitors design their chassis and then they go and try and find an engine that will fit that chassis. And you can run into some issues doing that, where when you buy a Toyota forklift, everything is built specifically for that forklift in one factory. For that reason, Toyota forklifts require less maintenance and generally have fewer repairs, which increases your uptime and definitely lowers your cost of ownership. For the Class 4 product, they can maneuver in aisles as narrow as 12 feet, but then you're not sacrificing capacity. With this class of forklift, you can lift up to 100,000 pounds. The basic warranty on a Class 4 product is 1 year or 2,000 hours. But on the powertrain, you get 3 years or 6,000 hours. Thank you for your time today. I hope you found Class 4 interesting and informative. And I now have the pleasure of introducing a real pro in the industry, someone I'm fortunate enough to call my pal. This is Dave Nanos talking about Class 5 pneumatic forklifts. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean, for that introduction. Very, very well done presentation discussing the Class 4 products that are available from Toyota. There are quite a few similarities when we are going to jump to the next presentation with regards to pneumatics that are on the Class 4 cushion style. I'm going to start off this presentation with our core group, that being the 3,000 pound to 6,500 pound units. They are IC powered. They are pneumatic tires. So pneumatic tires, there are a few options available that the end user can choose from. There are a solid pneumatic, rubber right through, your traditional air tire pneumatic, and then also a foam-filled tire is available. They are four-wheel, sit-down, and there are 12 options, 12 models available, excuse me. Some of the cool features that we have in this is the Toyota 4Y engine, which has been an industry standard for us, one of the most robust engines in the industry for many, many years. Some minor tweaks over the years to that have created a great engine. We also have the 3-cylinder diesel engine. Prior to that was the Tier 3. Now available is the Tier 4, the IZS Tier 4 diesel engine. Some of the changes have resulted in a 25% improvement in fuel economy. Some options available are the programmable speed control, and then also standard options like in the core cushion tires, the full suspension seat, LED headlights, multifunction display, automatic fork leveling, coil-on ignition system, and dual fuel options are available. And some of the applications you can find these core pneumatics would be brick, pipe, lumber yards, agricultural, and scrap yards, to name a few. And below is on the next chart here is a slide of the 6 options available in the propane side. So we have the 8FGU15 all the way up to the 35, so 3,000 pounds to 6,500 pounds. And again, similar to the charts that Sean showed on the cushion, you have your travel speeds all the way up to the right angle stack. So you obviously want to make sure that you tack on the load length as well to that right angle stack. The next slide here will show you the same thing, but in the diesel side. So 3,000 pounds to the 6,500 pound option. The next slide here, we're going to show you the mid and high capacity IC pneumatic forklifts. And these, there's various capacities here ranging from 8,000 to 17,500. Obviously pneumatic tires, and you can get a dual tire option available in the 13.5, 15.5, and 17,500 pound capacities. These are sit down. There's 14 models available. They are Class 3 hook carriage on the 8,000, 9,000, and 10,000 pound options. And also Class 4 hook carriage on the 11, 13.5, 15.5, and 17,500 pounds. Some of the productivity and features and options. These are Tier 4 final 4-cylinder engines, 30% reduced fuel consumption, independent brake and inching control pedals, travel speed control, and again, similar to the core, you have your standard features, which are standard on pretty much all the class 4 and class 5 options, which would be this full suspension seat, LED lights, multifunction display, automatic fork leveling, coil on ignition system, and the LPG and dual fuel models, in the LPG and dual fuel models. One thing I do want to touch on the automatic fork leveling system, this comes standard with the Toyota forklifts and is basically, you can automatically level when you're going in the forward position. So you would bring your load all the way back in the tilting mode, hold the actual automatic fork level button and go forward, and it stops your forks at 90 degrees. Another option is available on the mini levers. That 90-degree sub-level is available in both going forward and back. So if you guys are looking for a mini lever option, the 90-degree level is available going forward and back on that particular model. Various cab options I'd like to discuss on this. And again, these cab options are available on the core, the 3,000 to the 3,500 pound. We have a standard cab, a premium cab, and a polycarb cab as well. There are also rain guard options that are available. Best to discuss your suiting needs with the lift tow sales representative in your area. There are high capacity cooling packages available, solid and perforated bolt-on belly pans, pre-cleaners, hydraulic accumulator, which is a great option when a customer is handling something very sensitive that would prevent product damage. There are hang-on and integral side shifter options and also a side shifting fork positioner. A hang-on side shifter, basically, just as it sounds, hangs onto the actual carriage. It reduces your capacity at a full load. So, for example, we can use a 5,000 pound pneumatic forklift, and let's say your mast is 189. Your D-rated capacity on that 5,000 forklift would be 4,500 pounds at 189. If you were to go to an integral side shifter is built into the mast, and if you want to gain some capacity, you go with the integral. And using that same example of a 5,000 pound 189, your D rate from the hang-on of 4,500 pounds to the integral would be 4,850. So you get a few extra pounds capacity when it comes to using an integral. And then the other option, like I mentioned, is a side shifting fork positioner. I still have the ability to side shift, but also from the operator's seat on the fourth lever, the operator has the ability to move the forks in and out if they choose, as opposed to having them come out of the actual operator's seat and pop the pins on the forks and individually move the forks themselves. Great feature to have, and becoming more and more popular nowadays. The next slide I'm going to show you would be the same with regards to the specs. The chart with regards to the models available, the load capacities, and the right angle stacks. And keep in mind, you also want to keep in mind that you want to add your load length to the end of the basic right angle stack. So there you have your 8,000 pound all the way to your 17,500 pound, which would be our 8FG ADU. And again, also the options available in the diesel. Next, we're going to jump into some higher capacity pneumatic style forklifts, which would be the Toyota THD series. These range anywhere from 22,000 pounds to 125,000 pounds. They are IC power. They come in pneumatic tires. They are 4 wheels, also dual wheels as well. They are sit down. There are 30 options available, all in diesel. Such applications you can see these in would be ports, rail yards, lumber yards, construction sites, brick block, and pipe manufacturing. Some ergonomics and performance to touch on. I'll just touch on a few of these. Short throw hydraulic controls, left-hand shift lever, tilt steering column, load operator assist grips, non-slip rubber floor mats, slim profile tilt steer. You have an option for air condition, engine monitoring system, centralized grease lubrication, which is very, very important. Those will be located at the mast and the rear axle. Another nice feature is that these wheels are all rotatable. So if you want to switch the wheels around, you can. They do come in Hino and Cummins engines, common rail electric fuel injection, turbocharged and intercooled, water-cooled EGR valves, quick low systems, 24-volt electrical system, and automatic 2-speed transmission. Some safety and durability features to point out here. The operator presence sensing system, which is very, very important. Air horn, Asbestos-free components are used, neutral safety switch, key lift interlock hydraulics, wide view enclosed steel cab, axle planetary drive axle tech planetary drive axle, engine protective system, high cooling capacity radiator with fan shroud, large capacity engine cooling, fully oil charged lift cylinders, which is great for cold applications, rubber mounted hydraulic system, low maintenance battery, and a cyclone air cleaner for dusty air environments. And below the next slide is a chart similar to the other ones we've showed. These will have all the models available, which would be the THD 2200-24, all the way to the 48, which is the 125,000 pound capacity. And your basic right angle stack on these on there are as well, your low capacity, your travel speeds, and whatnot. The next slide I'm going to touch on are just very quickly some other options that are available. The reach stacker, basically this can handle containers up to 99,000 pounds. We also have a empty container handler, which can handle 18,000 to 19,800 pounds, and the loaded container handler, which would handle 80,000 to 90,000 pounds. And that's basically a quick rundown of the pneumatic style forklifts. Again, you want to get your, if available, you'd want to get your local lift hill sales representative in to spec out your facility. If not, feel free to give us a call. We can definitely help over the phone and possibly send out some demos as well if they are available to help with your need. Thank you very much.
Dave, that was great. Thanks very much. Sean, if you're available to rejoin us, that'd be great too.
I'm available.
Excellent. Great job, guys. Thanks very much. That was a lot of information, and really appreciate all that you put into this. We do have some questions from our guests, if you guys have some time. Sean, there's a question for you. And the question is, what is your favorite safety feature on the Class 4 lift truck?
Hold on, I thought we were only taking easy questions.
Sorry, the next one's going to be a lot harder if this one's too hard.
So I think most people that represent Toyota would probably say the SAS or the active mass control. And the reason being, those are really important to limit the possibility of a lateral or a tip over. But my personal favorite safety feature, it's actually a standard feature, and it is the automatic fork leveling. Every time we deliver a new forklift, when you go in and you show operators that they now can go into, let's say they have a quad mast and they're going up pretty high with their load, they can tilt backwards. As long as they engage that button, they know they're getting into that pallet placement at a level, I guess, placement. That's the one that I like the most, and obviously goes over the best when you're delivering fork.
Awesome. And if I can just add, I have one myself. You did mention the accumulator, and if I could just expand, the accumulator, for those of you who might not be aware of that product, is essentially a shock absorber, and where we put that in is on much heavier loads where there's uneven surfaces driving across or uneven floors. And what that does is a shock absorber in the hydraulics, and it takes that spike out of the load. So when you're going over a really big bump, instead of having a really hard impact, it actually makes the load float slightly. And what that does is it takes the spike out of operators who are sitting in the seat and not feeling that impact. So over time, if there's a lot of uneven surfaces, it works well with people who experience back problems and prevents them from getting worse. So, Dave, there's a question for yourself. And what are the advantages of wet disc brakes over a traditional brake setup or drum style brake?
Great question, actually, John. So Toyota introduced this year the option to basically the wet disc brakes are standard now on the 8,000 to 17,500 pound units. And some of the advantages are low maintenance. They have a 10-year, 20,000-hour lifespan. And another good feature about wet disc brakes is it helps with premature tire wear. And what it basically is that the wet disc brakes are force cooled, and they're bathed in hydraulic oil, which keeping them cool at all times. So if there's an application where there's high use, always running all the time, that hydraulic oil is keeping those wet disc brakes cool at all times.
Excellent. Yeah, no, it's a great product, and we're really excited to start marketing that product. Sean, there's another question for yourself. Why do you think the Toyota lift truck is the #1 selling lift truck?
Now that's an easy one. There's a lot of reasons why I think it's the #1 forklift in the industry. One being performance. On many occasions, you go and you do a delivery of a Toyota to a customer that hasn't had one before, and you'll leave there, and 15 minutes later, you've got the operators fighting over driving that Toyota. It does outperform all our competitors on a regular basis. Two, I think, would be the cost of ownership. Toyotas in the long run definitely hold their value and definitely require less service and less repairs as long as you're maintaining them properly and making sure that you're on your PM schedules and things like that. Toyota is never going to be the cheapest option up front. Everyone knows that. It's a brand built on quality, but over the life of a forklift, that's where you're really going to see the value of a Toyota. And then the last reason, which a lot of people overlook when they're purchasing a forklift up front, is the resale value. You never think about what you're going to do with that forklift on the back end of its life. And the resale value for a Toyota is higher than anyone in the industry. So I think for those reasons, there's no wonder why Toyota is considered the best forklift in the industry.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so just lastly, we have been doing sorry, Dave, did you have a question?
Actually, I did, John. I wanted to add one thing. I was actually speaking with a potential customer yesterday, and we are quoting them a few forklifts. And one of the questions they brought up, and I should have touched on this earlier, is a lumbar spec available? And Toyotas are increasingly becoming more and more popular nowadays in the lumbar industry. And we do actually have a lumbar spec available for the mid-size forklifts. So the 8,000 pound specifically is what I'm actually going to be discussing with this customer. There is an option direct from the factory. And basically, when we select the lumbar spec, it comes with a 64-inch wide carriage, 48-inch high load backrest, and comes with lumbar forks. So a 1.5 by 8 by 47.5. And it's something that's become, again, very popular. Toyotas have become very popular in the lumbar industry. And just something I want to touch on, if there's any customers out there that are in the lumber industry, we have this option available direct from the factory. So there's nothing that we have to add after the fact. We can add it straight from the factory and then right to the customer's door.
Excellent. Okay, great. And if I could just add to that, something that we need to be conscious of when ordering pneumatic dual drive trucks is that we need to specify the carriage when we select the side shift. If we don't, the standard carriage will come with the truck, which will not be the same width as the outer dimensions of the dual drive. So when placing orders for that piece of equipment, specifically, let's be conscious of the carriage width when ordering that truck, which I think most of us know, but just wanted to remind everyone. This concludes our presentation for today, but I would like to ask if anyone has any suggestions for future webinars, if you could please send either Red in Marketing or myself an email, and we will do our best to make those part of a future webinar, because we're always looking for new ideas, and we really appreciate that. So lastly, I'd like to thank both Sean and Dave for putting this together. I think you guys did a great job and really appreciate the information that you submitted. And to all of our viewers today, on behalf of Lifto, we wish all of you the best and to stay safe and to look forward to seeing you on our next webinar. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.